liturgical art and environment. We all know we are sensitive to the character of our surroundings. The atmosphere in a room can give us a sense of warmth and welcome. It can calm us, or it can evoke a sense of awe and wonder. It can stimulate us. It can also put us in a prayerful mood. Or on the other end of the spectrum, if there is a lot of clutter, it can distract us and it can even depress us. Or if you walk in a room with large white walls, you sort of get a cold feeling, maybe even a shiver. So, our work as art and environment ministers can make an important life-giving and educational contribution to the liturgical celebration of the community. The document of environment and art in Catholic worship states, liturgy flourishes in a climate of hospitality. A simple and attractive beauty in everything that is used or done in liturgy is the most effective invitation to this kind of experience. One should be able to sense something special in everything that is seen and heard, touched and smelled and tasted in liturgy. So how do we go about achieving this? For starters, we need to bring to this ministry the personalities and gifts of both Martha and Mary. We need to have a love for the Church's liturgy, artistic talent, knowledge of the liturgical principles, the skills of sewing, knowing how to work with fabric, taking care of plants, knowing which ones work in your particular church environment, being creative in the use of flowers, and always have an attitude of learning. And you can see by this list, however incomplete it is highly recommended that no one should go it alone. Even in a small parish, find yourself a partner, or better, a team. Teamwork or collaborative approach is highly recommended because burnout would be the result. No one person has all the answers. As a team, we are bound to learn from one another, and where there is learning, there is growing. It is our responsibility to continuously add to our knowledge by reading, by listening, attending workshops, and visiting other churches. And be open to change. The renewed liturgy of Vatican II required more than simply turning the altar around. We embrace the fourfold presence of Christ. First, Christ is present in the assembly, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in their midst. Second, Christ is present in the word proclaimed. Third, Christ is present in the presider. And fourth, Christ is present in the Eucharist. Since the assembly, we, the baptized, a royal priesthood, a people set apart, are the most important symbol, we respect the need for greater simplicity in the interior of our churches. So as an overall guideline for the liturgical space, the document calls for 4 principles. First principle is noble simplicity and beauty. The second principle is quality and appropriateness. The third principle is authenticity. And the fourth principle, use of whole space. Now let's unpack these 4 principles. Number 1, noble simplicity and beauty. We must find a balance between too elaborate and too empty a space. Too many statues, pictures, hangings, duplication of symbols, or other images nevertheless lets the sacred space rest in quiet peace. A busyness of decoration is disquieting and distracting. On the other hand, large, bare walls, little or no good art hardly feeds us or opens us to the transcendent. However, the Church needs art because she is called to reveal the invisible God. Father Ron Rolheiser once wrote, "The Church's task is to point to where beauty is hidden in the world. Beauty has the power to transform the soul and instill gratitude in a way that few things have, and beauty shows us something of God." Today, a number of writers are suggesting that our neglect of the importance of beauty is one of the major reasons why fewer people are interested in the Church. And Hans Urs von Balthasar, who was one of the most greatest Catholic theologians of the 20th century, had emphasized beauty as a key component both in how God speaks to us and how we are meant to speak about God to the world. There is also a pastoral aspect and function of art and beauty. 3 popes of the past have addressed artists to this effect. One quote from Pope Paul VI reads, "This world in which we live needs beauty in order not to sink into despair. Beauty, like truth, is that which gives joy to humanity's heart. A precious fruit that resists the wear of time, that invites people of different generations and lets them communicate in shared admiration." Second principle, quality and appropriateness. Again, the document says quality is perceived only by contemplation, by standing back and really trying to see, trying to let the object speak to the beholder. Quality means love and care in the making of the object or piece of art. Good art preaches the gospel in ways that words cannot. And appropriateness makes 2 demands on the object or piece of art. First, it has to bring mystery, awe, and reverence to the liturgical celebration. Secondly, it must clearly serve the liturgical action, not to distract from it or be art for art's sake. Furthermore, repetition of symbols calls for caution. For example, to use the image of an Advent wreath on a wall hanging while there is a real Advent wreath already in the liturgical space is inappropriate. The third principle is authenticity. Art and environment ministers need an awareness of the seasons of nature. Our prairie landscape and gardens offer a great variety of plants and shrubs and flowers, branches, grains, straw, moss, etc. Just a multitude of textures and colors. They are a gift of the Creator and should be celebrated in the worship environment. Using these natural elements in the worship space in a tasteful and appropriate manner can not only be very beautiful and inexpensive, it can lead to a whole new appreciation of what is growing all around us. The document of environment and art supports this. It says flowers, plants, trees, genuine, of course, are particularly apt for the decoration of liturgical space, since they are of nature, a gift of creation, never cheap or ill-made. Again, authenticity means wood needs to be wood, stone needs to be stone, trees, plants, and flowers need to be real. The fourth principle, use of whole space. Since the assembly is the primary symbol, we need to be creative and look at the whole space as a unit. Communion rails were removed because they created a separation in the worship space, that of the holy space and the people's area. The gathering of the people of God, we, the baptized, gather, sit, and stand for word and sacrament. This is what makes a space sacred. Therefore, attention needs to be given to the total environment. In other words, if we are concentrating the decor in the sanctuary only, we are creating a psychological communion rail. Someone suggested in order to avoid this, parish artists could begin planning at the doors of the building rather than the altar. And that's a good idea because hospitality starts at the doors also. For those of you that have a welcoming space, use this opportunity for seasonal decor. Give an indication in your welcoming space of the season, the particular liturgical season that we are celebrating.